Hey guys, F1Watch26 here, and welcome back to highlights of Season 7 of the F1 League. And after last week's incredibly successful race in Japan, which involved us getting a bit of damage on our front wing a couple of times, which basically ruined any chance we had of being competitive, we're back once again for round number 16 of the season, our second race as a full-time driver for the US Grand Prix. And as you can see, we're here in qualifying. We've already bottled 2 laps, so this is actually my third attempt. Turn 1's actually been alright. We managed to make the apex quite nicely and get a decent exit as we head down to this very tricky S section. Very easy to corner cut here, and we've not taken the best line. Understeered well away from that apex and that one as well. So not the ideal line. As you can see, our delta's in the red as K actually goes fastest, which is surprising. Can we bring it back to the green through here? Indeed we can, as we get on the power down towards the hairpin before the DRS straight. Not a bad lap so far, apart from that small mistake in S's, which will have cost us a decent amount of time. It's important to keep a flowing line through there. Nice line through the hairpin as well as we head down the DRS straight now. Mercedes gets out of our way on the left as we head on the DRS. So looking to qualify maybe a bit higher than last week where we were only 8th. But this league is incredibly competitive. A lot of top drivers here, so we'll have our work cut out if we want to get right up the front, but we'll give it our best shot. It's not been a bad lap, as I said, as we come into this tricky double left-hander. I hate this corner, but we've actually done it really well. Made the apex and got nicely on the power. This reverse turn 8 from Turkey, not a problem on this game, at least in qualifying. Easily flat as we let it run out wide. Into the penultimate corner, we've messed that up as well. We've missed the apex quite significantly. And the final corner down to third gear now. Take quite a bit of curb, straighten up the car, full throttle to the line. And it's put us in P6 actually, which isn't bad, but unfortunately that was the only lap we could do, and we have once again qualified 8th with our teammate Leopard taking pole this time around ahead of Melanie and Reynolds in 3rd. Kate eventually dropping to 4th with Joe in 5th, Brandy returning for this week in 6th, Luke not having the best qualifying, only just ahead of us in 7th, myself at 8th, Sinan in 9th, and Bobbitts in 10th with the rest not setting laps. So overall not too bad, but as you can see, the gaps were very close up at the front, and we were quite a bit off, like a couple of tenths off Luke. So even if we hadn't made that mistake, I don't think we would have improved our position. So it's not going to be easy if we want to finish higher than 8th, but maybe if there's a couple of retirements, we'll be able to move up the field. Our race pace could be better than qualifying, but I didn't do a huge amount of practice, so I very much doubt that. Now, altering the strategy, we're going to go for ultra soft. It's the standard strategy around here pretty much. No rain predicted this week, although there wasn't any rain in the race last week either. But yeah, ultra soft, put a bit of extra fuel in, and that should be us ready to race. We've got 2 lights. Now we have 3, it's 4 lights, and it's 5 lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for the United States Grand Prix. We've actually not got a terrible start, but in the second stage it's quite poor. Sinan obviously gets a much better start with the traction control. We're going to be reasonably cautious into turn 1, don't want to knock our wing off. Bobbitts comes diving up the inside. We've been sandwiched there by Sinan and Bobbitts. There's more contact on the exit with Luke and Sinan. We're going to go around the outside. Sinan's got caught up with Bobbitts, and we're going to hang it all the way around the outside of him. So after dropping to 10th briefly, we managed to get back up to 8th here. We've already got a warning, which isn't ideal, and we managed to avoid the spinning Sinan through turn 2 there. So not a terrible start, but we do need to work on getting a better launch off the line originally, which put us in the tricky position at turn 1 where we were sandwiched. Bobbitts hasn't got a great exit off the chicane there. We're going to maybe have a look into the hairpin. We're ducking to the inside. Indeed, we're going to gut the inside. I don't think we've committed enough, and indeed we haven't. Bobbitts able to hold it easily on the outside line, and it's in fact Jork behind us now, who didn't qualify to pull off a super soft, ultra soft strategy is what I'm guessing he'll go for, and he's getting well out the way of his teammate Luke. Obviously Luke in the championship fight, Jork not, due to various issues he's had throughout the season. We're just sticking on the back of Bobbitts at the moment. Brandy's going side by side with Joe, so there's a bit of a bottleneck here through sector 3 because going side by side can be quite costly, but everyone seems to have got through the first lap pretty cleanly, apart from Sinan. I think he did actually get a bit of damage, unfortunately for him, and I think he does proceed to leave the session, unfortunately. Quite a bit of understeer through the flat out corners there, and we've not taken the best line. We've dropped a bit behind Bobbitts as we head into the final corner, but he's early on the brakes than I anticipated, but our exit isn't very good, and we're not really close enough to try anything. At this point I'm deciding to also let Luke through, because I'm definitely not in the championship. So there's no point ruining his race, but we're going to try and stay ahead of Jordan for the time being, because we are going to race Jordan. He's not in the championship. and especially as he's on the alternate strategy, we can't be giving him free positions at this early stage of the race. So we've let Luke through, we're back down to 9th, but we're going to try and hold this position, stick with this leading group as we're all over the place through the S's there. Not the most ideal lineup, as we said. But yeah, we're going to try and stick with the leading group, but we've not got a very good run off that chicane. Luke's running away into the distance almost. So we're not going to get the best slipstream, although we have braked quite late into that corner. Bobbitts and Brandy now going side by side ahead, so Brandy dropping further back off the start, and Jordan is now in the slipstream as we head down the straight. No DRS obviously yet as it's lap 2, but Jordan's going to give it a good go nonetheless. He's very close. We're going to stick to the racing line, hope he goes in too deep and we can take the cut back. We brake pretty conservatively, but we slid out wide, and Jordan's claimed the apex nicely. Good manoeuvre from him as we've actually tapped the back of him there, just trying to switch over our line. We are lucky not to get damaged, but that's us down into 10th. Not exactly what we wanted, but that's what I'm saying. I can't keep with the guys in this league anymore. They're too quick for me, but we're going to try and stick with these guys. Hopefully if they battle, we'll be able to stick within DRS, but as you can see, already losing a lot of time through that corner. And Jesus, that's not the greatest line through the Plymouth corner. Hopefully that will allow us to stick within a second for when DRS does become available, but it's not looking ideal for us at the moment. Getting on to lap 5, we haven't dropped back too far. We are out of DRS, but our pace hasn't been too bad. But as you can see, coming through the penultimate corner, absolute carnage. There's a Renault on the inside here. That's K. We're going to try and go around that side of him. Taylor's in the pits, I believe, because he got damage off the back of Leopard. So we're now up into 8th place due to passing K and Taylor coming into the pits. I'm not sure if K has damage as well, but as you can see, it's still kicking off into turn 1. Jordan and Joe dropping back as well. I think he too got damaged, but we weren't able to capitalise throughout the lap. But Joe is also going to peel off into the pits at the end of the lap, along with Brandy, I believe. So at this point, I'm reconsidering the strategy. I'm thinking, am I going to have to switch up the strategy and go for the 2-stop here? And at the end of this lap, I'm going to do whatever Luke does. And as you can see, Luke comes into the pits. So we're actually going to come in for a set of super softs here. Not the strategy I said I'm doing at the start. We're going to go for super softs and then maybe a 10-lap stint at the end on ultra softs, as that's what I've assumed everyone who's come in has done. People are coming in as early as lap 6. There's no way you can take the softs to the end from there. So we're putting on the super softs here, bolted them on. We should stay ahead of K. Maybe we'll jump Luke if he has to change his wing, but he doesn't. And as you can see, he pulls out ahead. But as you can see, check the top left. They've both gone onto the softs. That's not what we wanted. They're going to try and go to the end on the softs from lap 7. I don't think it's happening, but who knows? Their tyre wear is probably better than mine. My tyre wear is not very good on this game. So we're going for the super softs. We have to make the most of these faster tyres because we are making an extra pit stop, which is around 20 seconds, which obviously isn't the best strategy when we're slow as it is. But purple last sector on the end of that lap there, and we're going to come out, maybe jump Leopard here as we head into turn 1. We're going to try and be late on the brakes, round the outside, but he's come over our line, he's cut us off, and we've got damage. That is absolutely disastrous. The one thing we don't need for this strategy is damage, and that's what we now have. It's only very minor damage, but it is going to cost us quite a lot. As you can see, just nowhere near the apex to the last corner there, and Taylor is not going to be worth fighting, so we're going to let him through. Once again, the rest of these races are probably going to see a lot of me letting people who are in the championship fight through. Taylor weaves to in thanks for my move, and we're just going to try and have to stick up as close as we can given the damage, but it's not going to be easy. The damage for the first few laps should be mitigated by the faster tyres, but as the stint goes on and the tyres wear out, we should start losing time. As you can see, we're sticking with Taylor, and that is disgraceful. We were barely on the curb, and we've got ourselves a well-deserved penalty there. But the thing is, can we stick with these guys? And the answer is reasonably. Skipping to lap 13, Taylor really isn't far up the road. He's having a go at Brandy now. Bobbitts has actually pit for a set of softs after doing a longer first stint on the super softs. And Taylor's managed to make his way past Brandy, who's got damage, and I think that'll be Brandy retiring from the race, unfortunately for him. It is a bit of a questionable move from Taylor, according to Brandy. As you can see, just the understeer through the S's is horrendous. You go offline for one corner, and that's the next 3 or 4 corners ruined, and it is costing us a lot of time throughout the laps. That and the last sector is what's costing us quite a lot. As we can see, skimming to lap 15, only 2 laps later, and we've got ourselves another penalty there, which isn't great, but we aren't being caught overly much by K and Joe, so maybe if they have to make an extra stop as well, we could be looking for maybe P7 in this race. Skipping on to the end of lap number 15, Jordan has actually come into the pits for a set of Ultrasofts to do a 13-lap stint to the end. Obviously, he has to try something. That's the strategy I predict he is going for. But he's coming a bit too early for my liking. I think the tyres will start to go off quite significantly on the last few laps. But here's Mr. Tyre Wear Specialist. Yeah, good. Great English. But yeah, he's pretty good on the tyres normally. So I expect he'll manage to make them last. But as you can see, he's lost a lot of time by doing the extra laps. Even if it was on the Super Softs, the undercut being extremely powerful around this track. And he will, in fact, have his work cut out if he wants to get back up to where he was with the other guys. But then again, the Ultras will be a lot quicker. He's sort of gone up the inside. We've sort of missed our apex, and we literally lift off the throttle there. It was a bit unnecessary. We could have just let him pass us on the straight without lifting off the throttle. But there we go. That's what we've done. And as you can see, skipping now on to lap 18, we've been caught. Kay and Joe have caught us. It took them a while, but they are now here. And Kay's actually having a look, but we're going to block that off. Not that it matters, because we will be peeling into the pits at the end of this lap anyway, due to the fact that the tyres have got off. We want to do 10 laps on these Ultrasofts, see if we can get fastest lap, see if we can maybe catch these guys back up, but it's going to have to be a whole pit stop. Plus, we're going to be changing the wing in this pit stop, just to add insult to injury to making it an even longer pit stop, which is not what you want, but we have to take the pain for making contact with Leopard, even if it wasn't really our fault, if I'm honest. But there we go, these things happen. Hopefully next week we can have a clean race and actually maybe fight with some of the guys up the front. But there we go, exiting the pits now, and we've got 10 laps of just pushing really to see if we can catch anyone. If their tyres go off, maybe. Hopefully some of them give up on like lap 24 and we can use the undercut to maybe get ahead. But I'm not really sure, to be honest. Anyway, it's getting to the end of lap number 20, I believe this is. Taylor, as you can see from the top left, has bailed out and come in for Ultras. He was the first to come in at the end of lap 5, so it's understandable. We set the fastest lap there, but we couldn't quite get ahead of Taylor. But on the next lap, the amazement has come in as well. Joe deciding that his tyres also won't make the distance, which again is understandable given he came in on lap 6. But we've actually, well, we stayed ahead of Joe, so we are going to have a battle on our hand now. And skipping even later on, Luke has also given up. He came in on the same lap as me for the softs, and he's only just come out ahead of us, showing how decent our pace has actually been for the start of this stint. But we're unable to pass him, so if we can stick with him, maybe we can have a go under the DRS. We're not looking too bad for pace, but that's not the ideal line. We're actually being pushed through the corner by Joe, as we're understeering everywhere once again, even without a damaged front wing. So maybe it's just us not being very good at the game. Luke's cleared off, so we're now given a few laps to defend from Joe. See if we can keep the position for P8 here, as opposed to finishing last once again like last week. Joe's launched one up the inside. We've gone for the switchback, the intelligent move there instead of trying to hold it around the outside. Will we get the better drag? Joe's going to have DRS from now on, so it's not going to be easy. As you can see, he's starting to pull ahead now. He has pulled ahead. We're going to get back into the slipstream. It's not really a thing. As you can see, we're not closing because he has DRS. We both brake too late, and that's GG pretty much. Joe gets past us. But skipping to the end of lap 26, one lap later, he's cleared off up the road, but he's decided no, he's pitted for fastest lap. Instead of maybe getting past Kay, Luke set the fastest lap now, taking it away from Joe actually. So that's us up to 8th. Joe will not catch us, and we're going to try and catch Kay on the last couple of laps. Unfortunately, it couldn't be done. That's a questionable line, and Kay is going to claim 7th here. He managed to make his man the soft didn't work at 21 laps there. We're going to come across for 8th, but Kay did actually have a penalty, so we get promoted to 7th there. So an improvement on last week, but still not great. I think we probably would have had 5th if it wasn't for the damage, as Joe redefines the last penultimate corner there. But yeah, these things happen. A decent race nonetheless. At least we've got more than 2 points this week, and hopefully next week in Mexico we can actually have a proper race and not get damage, but we'll never know. Anyway, skipping on to the podium now, it was once again my teammate Leopard who took the victory, so congratulations to him. If it wants to load, my editing on point as usual. There we go. So it's Leopard who took the victory, as he takes a step closer to his maiden title in the F1 League, and maybe if he keeps on carrying me, we can take the Constructors. We're not far behind now, I don't think. It's Melanie in second once again, and Jork claiming his first podium of the season, maybe? That's probably wrong. Correct me if I am wrong. I didn't race for most of the season, as mentioned, so I don't know if I'm honest. But there we go. There are the 3 podium sitters. Leopard, as mentioned, Melanie and Jork. It was Bobbitt in fourth, a good drive from him from the back. Jordan and Bobbitt coming from the back of the grid. Luke managed to get up to fifth with Taylor's penalties. Taylor sixth, myself in seventh after Kay's penalties, and Joe in ninth, the last of the finishers, with Sinan quitting and all the others retiring at some point. So 6 points for us today, not ideal, but better than last week nonetheless. Still not the best result, but next week in Mexico, one of my stronger tracks on this game from previous experience, which is going to mean I'll be 3 seconds off the pace next week. But I'll give it my best shot then. That's been it for this week, guys. See you next week for the Mexican Grand Prix. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.